Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the XGain podcast series. I'm Murania Dinu from Reino, the partner responsible for maximizing the impact of XGain. XGain is a research project that aims to bridge the digital divide between urban and rural areas by facilitating access to last-mile connectivity solutions. In today's episode, we are honored to have Jérémie Haumont. Jeremie is a researcher at ILVO, and today we will have a very insightful conversation regarding livestock farming. Hello Jeremie, and thank you for being with us today.
Hi Rania, thanks for having me here in Thessaloniki. It's a really nice opportunity to talk about the research we're doing.
So let's start with your specific role in the project. How do you contribute to XGain?
So I'm a researcher at ILVO. It's the Flanders Research Institute for Agricultural, Food and Fisheries. And in the XGain project, we are contributing to the Flemish Use Case, which is focusing on monitoring grazing livestock. And I'm responsible for the hard and software development and ensuring that the impact of our technological solutions is measured in the correct way.
So livestock farming is an important sector of rural areas. Can you tell us more about this use case and what's the inspiration behind it?
Well, livestock farming is quite capital-intensive sector, and so farmers have really small margins, so they should really be efficient with their resources. And on the other hand, there is a real focus on the well-being and the welfare of the animals. And there is some research that proves that animals or livestock that has access to the pasture improved welfare and health. However, we see in Flanders that there is decrease of farmers that allow their cattle or their livestock on pasture because it's becoming increasingly difficult to combine it with all kinds of technologies that are being installed inside the barn. Therefore, ILVO engages itself to bridge this gap and develop cost-effective solutions to monitor livestock on the pasture and provide useful information for the farmer to optimize his farm management and maintain the well-being of his animals.
You have mentioned efficiency and well-being, animals' well-being as key factors. What are the particular challenges in livestock farming that this use case aims to tackle?
Well, the main challenge is continuously monitoring the livestock in real time on the pasture. Currently, there exist some sensors to monitor the livestock, like an accelerometer or a GPS sensor, but often they lack practical implementation because they lack a good battery life, so the farmer has to replace it a lot, or they are not able to send the data to the barn so the farmer cannot check it, or it's the range of the digital connectivity is not well enough. So therefore, we, through the participation in the XGain project, we try to solve these issues by using the latest digital communication technologies and really benefiting from the information the XGain project is giving us.
It's clear that technology can transform farming practices. My next question is about data. Why real-time data is so critical for effective farm management?
Well, real-time data is really important in two ways. The first way is it can provide feedback on the management of the farmer. So farmers adopt some farm management or make some decisions, and when our system would be able to provide feedback for the system, and then farmers can optimize their management accordingly about this information. It can also be used to identify some issues, for example, some welfare issues or health issues. For example, if a cattle has an infection of his feet or hoof, then there will be less activity. And then our system will be able to identify this and alert the farmer that there is some issue, and then he can interact or intervene accordingly.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of technology, can you explain how this use case integrates digital solution to monitor the health of the animals?
Yeah, we developed a camera system that is directly connected to the latest edge processing devices, and it runs an AI algorithm on the edge device to locally process the images. And then based on this from this processing we can identify the behavior of the cows and also its locations, and then we can send it over the mobile connection, 4G or 5G depending on the where you are, and then we send it to the cloud and visualize it in a web-based dashboard, so the farmer or the researcher using our system can access his data everywhere where he is.
Considering that livestock management has a few challenges as a sector, how will farmers can specifically benefit from adopting this kind of technologies?
Well, our system is now being used in an experiment or in a study to determine the preference of the grazing cattle towards different varieties of grass. So our system is able to detect where they graze the most, and then this information can be given to the farmers to select the variety of grass his cows will prefer the most. But on the other hand, our system will also be able to just know where the cows are grazing, when they are grazing, are they using the shading areas in the pasture, are they overgrazing in some areas, and then we can provide that information to the farmer, and then he can adopt his management or make some decisions to improve the farm management.
That's really interesting. It sounds like this use case is progressing quite well. Do you have any results so far?
Well, the study I mentioned, we collected a lot of data, but we're still in the process of processing it, and so we don't have yet information about that. But our system is indeed progressing well, and we developed an AI system to detect the cows, which has a quite high accuracy, and we also developed a methodology to determine the GPS locations of the cow based on just the visual information from one camera. And based on this, using this algorithm, we can determine the GPS locations of the cows with about 1 meter accuracy, which is quite an improvement compared to the GPS collars, which only have like 3 to 5 meters accuracy and a limited battery life, while our system can be equipped with a solar panel and can run the whole grazing season, let's say.
So looking ahead, how do you see the livestock and farming sectors evolving as a result of the innovations that you introduce by the XGain?
Well, the XGain project is really bringing a deeper understanding of these latest digital communication technologies and so on, and it's really important they're analyzing these technology mixtures or technologies based on technological requirements, but also the social impact, the economic impact, and the environmental impact. And all this information can really inform companies or researchers to bring cost-effective solutions to the farming industry for livestock monitoring.
We're really looking forward to see the positive impact of this use case in the farming sector. Thank you for being with us today, Jeremie.
Thanks for having me, Urania.
Also, thank you all for being with us today in another episode of the XGain podcast series. Till the next time, don't forget to follow us on social media and visit our website. Together, we can turn the digital divide into a digital bridge. Stay tuned.